I know my account has turned into kind of like a mix, a hodgepodge of life and home and wellness and fitness and lifestyle. And I just want to thank you guys for just hanging along there on this journey. My goal is to always inspire instead of just influence, but inspire, help people come up and out of habits or seasons that you might be sitting in for a really long time, and really help you get to the point where you don't have to show up as this burnt out, tired, full of anxiety, out of shape, weathered looking, depressed, anxious person. And I feel like as women get older, that's kind of what happens. We take on a lot. Time passes, life passes. We're busy helping everybody. We're raising kids, we're running businesses, we're doing things for everybody else, and we forget about ourselves. And then when we do take time for ourselves, we feel guilty for it, or we feel like we shouldn't be doing that, or it's self-indulgence, or it's just, all of these things. And I'm seeing a lot more women, especially in their 40s, getting to the point where they're like, I've spent the last 10 or 20 years, I'm exhausted from chasing things, from chasing other moms, chasing what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to raise my kids, where I'm supposed to go, having my kids in school, having my kids in sports, running all over, both parents working, trading our time for our house, basically living to just be busy all the time. And I'm seeing more women wake up from that and desire more of a simplified lifestyle. So what organic modern living is basically that. It's living in a simplified way. You're basically buying time is what you're doing. You're putting yourself in a position where it makes it easy for you to thrive, where it makes it easy for you to live a certain way, to obtain certain things, and by being intentional about your decisions. So you're not just letting your habits control you. You're not letting your habits dictate what you're doing, where you're going, what you're buying. You're thinking, and you're being more intentional about what brings you joy, what's going to make you healthiest. And it's not necessarily because it's about you, it's because it's about those around you. It's about not being a liability on your kids when you're older. If you don't take care of yourself now, you're going to be a liability, and they're going to have to take care of you. It's also about breaking things up into simplified seasons. Instead of just doing what everybody else is doing and celebrating, what the world is celebrating, and every month it's something different, you break it up into simple seasons. And even between the seasons, you use that time. For example, this is, for me, I'm going into the holiday season. It's a time of more, I indulge a little bit more. I love it. I do it because my family loves it. It brings us joy. We like to go a little over and above. And I start my Christmas early so I can have November and December to relax. We watch movies, we go ice skating, we go to the snow. We do all the beautiful Christmas festivities without worrying about shopping or decorating or anything. It's already done. And that's one of the reasons why I start early. But the day after Christmas, all my trees come down, and I use that pocket of time between Christmas and New Year's. I use that. It's about a week or two to unwind, to slow down, to really simplify, to purge that. I go into more of a barren type state. And in that time, I allow everything to kind of be stripped away, and I go into this refreshing my soul, nurturing, cleansing the home, decluttering, and then I start that year off fresh, where typically a lot of times you keep your Christmas tree up and you're already still lingering in the past season. Personally, I like to beckon and welcome a new season before it comes, and then I don't like to linger in it once it's done. Once it's done, I'm already on to the next thing, and personally, that's just what works for me. But by doing that, you allow yourself time, and you allow yourself growth, and you're really maximizing each season. You're not specifically being rushed, and you're not going with the flow of the world. You're on a totally different flow. You're doing things totally different. And not everybody does it that way. And what I've noticed is that during these seasons, you might have bursts where you feel like you need to be more productive. You're really sensing a change. You're sensing that you need something different. You're really sensing something is about to break. Something's about to change. You're onto something new. You're onto something fresh. And when you're in that type of season, sometimes the people around you, they're not going to come with, they're not going to be a part of that new season. And that's okay. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what race you're running. And God will bring the right people at the right time into your life. So get clear on what it is that you're doing, what it is you want, and don't lower your standards just because it makes people around you uncomfortable. I'm learning this, that not everybody is going to live that way. Not everybody is going to accept things and live with an excellence in them. Not everybody's going to do that. A lot of people settle. A lot of times people are just willing to get by, or they are allowing things to dictate them. They're allowing the environment or whatever's going on in the government or this to dictate how they live, instead of them showing up as their highest self, regardless of what's going on. A lot of people won't level up to the level that you're trying to go to, and that's okay. You don't have to worry about bringing people on board. This is specifically what God has for you, what race He wants you to run, and what He's doing in your life in this time. So if you're sensing a nudging, if you're sensing that something new is here, something is coming, that you've been stagnant for a while, you're remaining in the past, you're dealing with past trauma or past struggles, allow yourself mentally to think about and spend some time thinking about who you are. Who is this future self? What does she or he look like? What does she sound like? How does she live? What does she do? How does she talk? What's her environment look like? Who is she hanging around with? And allow yourself to be engulfed in that and bring that person in the spirit to the present by doing those things now. For example, is that person up early and getting in a 30-minute walk before you have to go to work? Is that person eating protein before you're drinking your coffee? What is this person doing? Because a lot of times we're just doing things by habit. We do it a certain way without even thinking. Get up, have your coffee, do this. We don't realize what that's doing to our body. If you're drinking a big Starbucks latte or Frappuccino every single day, you're damaging your body without even realizing it. And you're doing it because it's become a habit and an addiction. If you're sleeping in or you're staying up binge watching TV, all of these things are habits. They're habits that you created that give you the results. And I'm very passionate about this because I was doing the same things. I was creating habits that were giving me results that I didn't like. And those results were not only destroying me as a person, like lowering not just my confidence, but how I felt as a woman. Always struggling, always trying to catch up with someone, always feeling like I'm not good enough. I need to buy that thing from that perfect influencer who's got the perfect hair, which are probably hair extensions. She's got the perfect face and jawline, no saggy chin. She's not fat. Her boobs are perky. She has a beautiful house. Her kids are dressed nice. She lives on all this land, and she's this perfect person. And I'm not knocking that people are like that. That's beautiful. It's great. It's a wonderful way to live. But it kept me always wanting and feeling like I needed to strive to be that way. And the reality of it is I just needed to become better myself. I needed discipline, self-discipline. I needed to really focus on healthy habits and being present with my family and getting clear about what it is that God has for us, and instead of worrying about being involved in everybody else's life or what everybody else is doing and caring about all of that. Like, the amount of time that we spend being involved in other people's problems is a waste of time. You're not going to change anybody. The best thing you can do is demonstrate with your life and let them want what you have. That's the best thing you can do. And be 10 steps ahead, because then you're not in competition with them. You're not where they're at. And there's always going to be haters, and there's always going to be people telling you what they think you should do and how you should live. And do yourself a favor and free yourself from those people. They're miserable, and they're always going to have something to say, and they're always going to contradict what you're doing. And if you know that you're following what God has for your life, then you don't owe an explanation to anybody. You don't even have to ask their opinion or their advice, because you already know what you're doing. Now, if you're not following God and you're following the world, then things might be a little chaotic, because things are always changing in the world. They're always telling you what you should do, where you should live, how you should live, and all of these things. So it gets a little confusing. So you have a choice to show up as your highest self or your lowest self. There's multiple versions of yourself existing at one time. The difference is the choices that you make or don't make is what's going to determine which person is showing up and which experience you're having in life. Because once the time's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. You're trading your life for whatever it is that you're doing. You're trading it. You can't get that back. That's really what we should be focused on. So if we're trading our life for stuff, if we're trading our life for our house, if we're trading our life to please people who are never going to be pleased, if we're trading our life to always feel like we have to perform to be loved, we're trading our life for relationships that should be gone, or trying to, get approval from family members or people. Like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. Let people be, let them do what they're going to do, and you run your race and get clear and do what you can do. Like, there's a lot of things that maybe might be, and do what you can do. There's a lot of things that might be outside your control, things that you can't control, things that have happened in the past that maybe you're dealing with right now, health problems, and I understand like that can be detrimental. But what can you do? Is there certain things that you can do? Does your home need a good clean, purge, organize? Are those things you can do? Can you bless someone with your access stuff? Can you donate food to a food pantry? Can you give your old towels to the Humane Society? As we're going into winter, they're going to need bedding and towels for dogs and cats. Is there something that you can do in your own community? Can you bake something for your neighbor? Is there something simple that you can do right now that allows you to come up as your highest self? Can you get outside, go for a walk? Can you start eating clean? Put that soda can down, put that alcohol down, put that beer down, put that cake down. Can you exercise self-control? Do you have the discipline in you or the desire in you to have more? It doesn't matter if you're 20 or 60 or 70. If you're alive, you have time to turn that ship around. And during the time that you're turning that ship around, it might be painful. It might be a very difficult season. Surround yourself with people that also want to turn their ship around. Don't hang out with the people who they're okay with it. They're okay with being comfortable and living how they've always lived. Those are the people that are going to keep you in the same place, and you're never going to be able to level up your life, and you're never going to be, you have to be around people who also want what you want, who are desiring something better. People who aren't going to settle, and they're not going to tolerate average, and they're not going to tolerate mediocre, and they're going to level up their life. And then sometimes what's going to happen is once you start doing that, once you start making good decisions or changing things, usually it's family first and then close friends or whatever they're not going to like it. They're going to say, oh, well, you're showing up. I've heard so many things the past, like just the fact that I've changed my habits and changed my life. I've heard more negative from people that were close to me in terms of, you think you're better than us, you're pompous, you are way too picky, you're just showing off, you're trying to do this, not everybody lives like you, you need to take it down a notch, basically, like come to a level, get down, from a high horse, or come to a level. And I'm not going to do that. And you shouldn't either. If you're going to level up in life, and if you're going to try to reach a different level or standard for yourself, surround yourself with people that are going to push you forward and are going to say, yes, you can do that, and I got your back. And as much as you might not want, it's always the people that tell you the truth that it hurts, but those are your friends. And the people that you want around you are the ones that are going to move with you, and they're going to want what you want, and you can move together, and you can move kind of in sync. And the Bible says that iron sharpens iron. That means that you should always be sharpening each other, and wanting the best for each other. And go, and if they don't want that, then so be it. But simplifying your life, building an organic modern lifestyle is about enjoying life and enjoying the beauty and simplifying. And it's about simplifying in a modern way. It's about not holding back, but not living with just those habits. It's about being intentional about your time, your talents, your finances, what you're doing. And it's also about moving into like rhythms of seasons. as well. So you're not always stuck in one season in life. You're taking advantage of all of it. And if that means moving states, if that means getting rid of stuff, if that means parting ways with old friends or family, if that means, purging, whatever it is that you have to do, changing your habits, it's your choice to say enough is enough. It's your choice to say, I'm ready for more. I want more. And this is my time. This is the time for it.